Ще не дивилася її рецензенти. Окей. Потіснишся. Ванька, привіт. Давай я тебе зразу роблю співхостом. Правильно?
Да, доброго дня.
Катерина Молодецька, це вона, да, Ванька? У нас сьогодні Молодецька? Вань.
Я спікера впускаю, щоб вона також фон спробувала влаштувати.
А ти мене чуєш, Вань?
Да, чую.
Слава Богу.
Добрий день. О, в мене
Доброго
все
дня,
працює.
Да.
Це основне, що я хотіла перевірити, щоб спрацювала заставка. Зараз я ще демонстрацію екрану спробую.
Робите, бо зараз забороню усім.
Так.
Мене нормально чути?
Чуть,
Так.
Вань, чуть.
Угу, окей.
Ну що, видно?
Так,
Видно.
Прекрасно.
що я повинна заборонити? Я нашим учасникам, скажіть, пані Катерина, будь ласка, чи буде у вас з учасниками діалог?
Так.
Вони повинні будуть вам щось відповідати, чи достатньо того, що вони вам в чат будуть писати?
В принципі, я думаю, ну, в кінці я планувала Q&A-сесію. Якщо будуть у них питання, звісно, нехай задають. Якщо, можливо, якісь коментарі будуть, то я їх попрошу, мабуть, щоб по ходу коментарі писати в чат, щоб було зручніше працювати. А в кінці буквально там кілька хвилин на Q&A-сесію. Якщо будуть запитання від них, то я буду готова відповісти.
Добре, то я на початок поки що не буду вам їм дозволяти включати мікрофони і камери, щоб у нас під час все було ок,
Так.
добре? А потім вже, коли
Добре.
ви закінчите, я дозволю. Ще часу трохи є. 4 хвилини.
Ну, я хотіла перевірити, тому що в мене іноді буває таке, що після оновлення якогось чергового на Маку він блокує всі права доступу. І я дізнаюся про це тоді, коли вже треба говорити. Тому я попросила трошки раніше.
Ні, нормально. У нас просто світла немає. І наші студенти, ну, не знаю, у нас немає світла. Ванька, у вас є світло? 13-му? Є? Угу. Хорошо, тільки звук вімкни, ти гарно балакаєш, тільки звук вімкни.
Я додав 13-му, да.
Я ще як назло захворіла, в мене такий голос прекрасний. Ну нічого.
Нічого.
Зараз складні часи, всім складно. Сподіваюся, з інтернетом все буде добре. Раптом що, я підключуся з телефону, так що все позаряджала. Тому все буде.
Вимикають світло.
Так.
Катерина Валеріївна, кажу, у вас
Ай.
часто світло вимикають?
Ти не повіриш. Welcome, dear participants. I'm glad.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah.
Dear participants of the festival, we are pleased to welcome you to our first webinar on the topic Information Security, Challenges and Threats. Today's speaker is Kateryna Molodetska, Science Doctor in Engineering, Professor, Head of Noosphere Engineering School Laboratory in Zhytomyr, Polissia National University. And pay attention that due to the unstable situation in Ukraine caused by the Russian aggression, we may have some technical problems, but don't worry, we will restore our online meeting immediately. Follow the updates in Telegram chat. Kateryna, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, and I'm great to see all of our participants, and I think that this webinar in record will hear and see a lot of other participants, and it will not be a problem for everyone. So our theme today is information security challenges and threats, and I'm very happy to discuss the frame of information security and cybersecurity problem with you, and it's very good that you would like to create some new decisions, technical decision in this field, because it's very important for our country. So let's start. Information security and cybersecurity. You know that we use both of these terms, and sometimes we have some problems with understanding what is the difference between these two terms. So I would like to make some important points in this field. What's the difference between information security and cybersecurity? I would like to discuss with you an analytical report, Information Warfare Boundaries for an Army in the Wireless World. This research was held by RAND Corporation in 2013. And as a result of investigation, we see that according to point of view of this group of researchers, that information environment should be considered not as the single environment, but as the environment in two dimensions, human and technical. So that's why consideration of the information environment and cyber environment are separate parallel institutions and is recognized as unreasonable and artificial. So what is the correlation between information and cyberspace? You see that cyberspace includes all the wireless technologies we use in our life, we use to communicate between each other, and we use in modern technologies. But our society is a society of social networks, because every human is a social being, and we are not separate from the society, and we are a part of society. So that's why we communicate with our friends, with our relatives, with our idols, and we want to get some information from social media. And all of these technologies, they have made fundamental goals. It is connect people which have much in common. So that's why information environment consists of two main parts. It is social networks and cyberspace. And that's why we get the information environment. So what is the main challenge in Ukraine? And what kind of problems appear among us and in our country? It is a hybrid warfare and modern and contemporary concepts of hybrid warfare. So what is the hybrid warfare? It is a covert way of conducting military operation under the cover of illegal armed groups and simultaneous use of a wide range of political, economic, as well as information and propaganda activities that accompany in throughout the entire period of hostilities. So you see that modern war, it's not about weapon. It is also about technology and about information. And Ukraine, it is some sort of experimental country where all of this technology were examined. And also, as the result, we have what we have. Under such conditions, the aggressor country usually remains publicity uninvolved in the conflict and conducts covert military operation. And also you can see on the slide the word cloud considered with hybrid war, and you see that propaganda, influence, public relation, manipulation, fake news, misleading, social media, all of this, it is connected with hybrid war. And I would like to tell you about one of the cyber operations which were held in Ukraine in 2015 and from 2015 to 2017. And this cyber ops is named Bug Drop. It was investigated by CyberX security experts. They have uncovered details of significant observation operation targeted at Ukraine by undefined individuals. So their operation involved installing malware on victims' computer and recording conversation through PC microphones. And we know that it is very useful to close our webcam, and we use some piece of tape to shut it and to feel a bit safer. But it is very tough task to block the microphone on your PC. And that's why audio recordings were copied to Dropbox along with other confidential documents, screenshots, and passwords from web services. As the result of this cyber operation, at least 70 people from various fields, including crucial infrastructure management, media, and academic research, were victims of wiretaps. And most of the victims were from the Ukraine. And as we see, previous operations were held in 215, 217. But what happens nowadays? You see how often malware cyber operations are held in Ukraine. And you see that it is not very safety to use your computer and not to keep your safety. So what are the current cybersecurity threats to Ukraine? 7 main threats to cybersecurity of Ukraine, and they are firstly hybrid aggression of the Russian Federation. This aggression includes destabilization of information system and access to the internet. Also, intruders provoke chaos in the work of state institutions, financial and business centers in order to harm the security and sovereignty of Ukraine. The next is that cyber attacks organized and financed by the governments of other states, which are related to the theft of confidential information for its further use for political, economic, or military purpose against Ukraine. Next threats, it is cyber crimes which cause damage to information resources, social processes, citizens, personally reduces public confidence in information technology. And also all these cyber crimes leads to significant material losses. Next is high technological dependence of our country on foreign manufacturers of IT products, and high vulnerability of IT infrastructure of companies due to dispersion of employees and remote format of their work. And also you can see that due to hard times for our country, we have to stay home and study from home and make our research from home, and a lot of our citizens, they work from home, and there is how it is new threats to all Ukrainian citizens that they have to be safe from a wide class of threats to their security. The next threats, it is lack of proper control over the implementation of measures to ensure cyber protection and information security in a significant part of state bodies. Also, the next problem is that there is imperfection of the current regulatory framework in the field of cybersecurity and slow implementation of relevant European Union regulations. So you see that I'm not sure that some of us currently can do something to improve the seventh threat, but maybe in future, if you become some high-level managers, top managers of some companies, or maybe some organization, or become an active citizen, so you can be involved in improvement of regulatory framework in the field of cybersecurity, because you can see that threats to cybersecurity, they aren't static. It seems that they change all the time during the operative situation in information environment, and also the technologies they develop all the time, and that's why we have new threats to cybersecurity. And what about information security? What kind of challenges do we have in information security? So you see that a very popular term, it is the information operation. And what does information operation is? What kind of process is it? It is the integrated use of electronic warfare, computer network operation, psychological operation, military disinformation, and disruption operation, also security operation, to exploit the capabilities of human conscience to disrupt, degrade, or even intercept the decision-making of an adversary while protecting one's own decision. As you see, information operations are aimed to influence on our society, on our citizens, on our social groups, and that's how we should be ready to counteract all of that things. What are the forms of information activities? You see that there are some rules in holding cyber campaigns or informational campaigns in our information environment. The smallest action aim to make some influence on crucial infrastructure or maybe at some information resource will be called in our today's lecture cyber attack. And we will tell that cyber attacks, they are a tactical level of information activities. This activity take a short term to be implemented in information environment. And if we see the few cyber attacks and they are united by the aim, by the target group, by the technology, by some ideas which are used in this activity, so we can observe the cyber event. And cyber event, it is the operational level of information activity, and it took from a few weeks to half of the year or 6 months to be implemented in information environment. And if we unite few of cyber events by their main idea, by the time when they were held, or by the target audience, we can discuss the cyber operation. Cyber operation, it is the strategic level of information activities. And few cyber operations are the part of some cyber campaign. And cyber campaign is the highest level of information activity in information space. What are the means of information manipulation, and how does the information influence on people? So how does organization of manipulation of information campaign works? And you see that there are few types of propaganda. It is wide or open propaganda, and it is often considered with not bad ideas. It is about, for example, healthy way of living, or it can be about spreading some ideological ideas, or about some new valuable things in life of society. And it's not a bad thing. But also there are two more types of propaganda. It is gray propaganda and black propaganda. Gray propaganda is about conspiracy theory, and it is about some resources, for example, on the dark net. The worst thing is black propaganda. It can be black propaganda aimed to make some harm onto some institution, for example, social institution, or maybe some political institution, and it is not a good thing for society. Also, black propaganda is considered with trolls, bots, and hackers. It seems that those people use some information technology instruments, and they try to gain their milestones and implement the ideas or results they want to reach. For example, the aggressor state disperses its action to cover its tracks and create the impression of spontaneous activities. But it doesn't seem that those activities are natural. Also, propaganda uses elements from entire spectrum, from trolls to diplomacy, and in fact, it is the coordinated campaign. When we talk about disinformation, intruders use calibrated narratives. What does it mean? The goal is not to convince us to doubt the alternative truth, but to make us believe that objective truth exists, to implant confusion and also to paralyze any action. So there's no need to defend an ideological point of view. It seems that if we are not sure that some truth exists, and it seems that we can't use our critical thinking, and we will agree with all of the things which appear in our life. It seems that we will not counteract all the bad things are happening in our life. What kind of examples of narrative we can discuss? For example, that conspiracy theories to sow doubt and distrust. And also, kind of such narratives is ad hominem attacks. It seems that kind of personal attacks at some certain people to discredit this person or the position of this person. Also, widespread is anti-narratives. All these narratives, they use attack to institution. For example, anti-European Union, anti-NATO, for example, anti-Americanism, anti-migrants, and so on and so forth. This narrative is considered to separation one group of people to another group of people. The next is provocateurs on divisive issues. Next point is historical tension that lie in the darkest corners of our different national histories. And also Ukraine has such issues, and they were used to make some problems in diplomatic communication between some countries, for example, Ukraine and Poland. The next example, moralizer who tried to demonstrate the moral decline of the West. What kind of resources and mechanism we use? That manipulation of information is due to the viral nature of its spread on the internet through various repeaters. They can be automated or not, and we will discuss it more deeper. What kind of resources are used to spread the disinformation? The most profitable resource is digital platforms. Why? Because we use those platforms every day. It is a very important part of our life, and we can't imagine how can we spend our day not using our mobile and all of those applications. What are the features of such resources? The platform rank content and create conditions for distribution of this content, and shared content is posted by technology companies but not edited. And it's the problem, because every one of you can become an influencer and make a lot of posts about anything you want, anything you like, and it doesn't seem that all of the information you spread to your subscriptions, it is the truth. Also, there are some additional resources, and it is disinformation websites, discussion forums, messaging apps, for example, WhatsApp, Telegram, and all of other kinds, and darknet. It's something very deep and very close to not professional users. What are the stages of online propaganda? Firstly, it is target recognition. At the first step, we have to find an audience which we will use in our information operation. Next is weaponization. It is the preparation of narratives or fake news. Next step, it is mass distribution by all available means. So we can use social media, we can use traditional media or other kinds of instruments. Next step is activation of specific channels. It is some kind of combat groups in social networks. Next step is growth. Growth means the purchase of advertising, bots, and trolls, and they will be used to spread the information. Next step is support, and the last step is laundering. It is when the traces of the original actor disappear after achieving the goal. And that's all. We can find the source of the propaganda or the harmful information. How do we use bots and what kinds of bots can be? It's kind of amplification mechanism in spreading disinformation, and social bots are using to spread information or make this information more interesting to other participants of social media. So social bots can be divided into 5 groups: technical bots, combots, trolls, disinformers, and spammers. And all of this group has its features, and we can use all of that mechanism to to reach our goals. For example, if we use bot spammers, we want to spread the meaningless content or clogging the hashtags. That's how we can control what kind of information will be more important to users over the internet. And when we use combat bots, we can not only access to some data from profiles in social media, but we can use it to block an account of influencers, politics, or other kind of peoples with a wide auditory of people all over the internet. And working with detecting this kind of bots, it's very important task in information security. So what are the mechanism of amplification in part of trolls? Trolls spread information, sort and fluid sites with comments or harass others. The sites of trolls are constant attempts to go personal, using the topic of the dispute to provoke emotional reaction. Also, they raising deliberately controversial, provocative topics, and they do it in ill manner, rude behavior also. And the main goal of trolls are to make us too nervous, make us to become not confident, to become aggressive and show that, you see, this guy is kind of aggressive, so you don't have to talk with him, and he's very rude, for example. How can we analyze the actor's profile? You can see the slide with Ukraine World investigation on possible sites of bots. What kind of signs is it? Lack of original content, no avatar or abstraction instead of photo, inaccurate or missing profile information, very frequent posting, too many publication of the same content, and a large number of external links in the comments. And if you detect all of these signs, it is very high probability that you are talking or you are communicating with bot, kind of bot. And you see the examples of bot profiles. One of them is Anatoly Trofimenko, and you see that he have a post about Stepan Bandera, but the investigation of the analysis of his profile detected that it is a bot profile. And also the other example is Zhytomyr Shepitko, and you see that there's no avatar, only some kind of flowers, and there's no additional information in this profile, and it seems that it is bot, and this actor of social media can harm you when you don't expect it. And it is also the examples of actors' profile. You see at the left part of this the slide, you see the information in Russian, but you can see that all the comments are the same, word by word, letter by letter. And it is very low possibility that 5 different users will they can answer the question in the same way. And at the right part of the slide, you can see some comments from users or actors, as we say, and they have a lot of mistakes in English. And it seems that it is not native speaker, and all of these comments were translated, for example, from Russia, word by word, and it's not the complete sentence. And there is how it is also the sign of social bot. And one of the new technology, it is disinformation on TikTok, because it is the new social media, and all the young people, they like TikTok very much. And so TikTok today is a kind of new weapon when we talk about disinformation. So service is used to distribute the fake live broadcasts. Users regularly publish footage of military video or computer games, and TikTok is used to distribute the videos of old conflicts. What are the difficulties in combating disinformation in TikTok? TikTok doesn't provide tools for analytics and transparency to scholars, researchers, or journalists, and it is lack of a community of TikTok users which are ready to expose fakes on the platform. So that's why it is very dangerous instrument nowadays. And I would like to show you few practical cases on disinformation operation over on the internet. I will show you the results of investigation non-government organization Go Ukraine 250, and they aim to analyze the information which was the 24th August of 2021 to 24th February of 2022. So remember our scheme about information operation, information attack, information event, information campaign. And information campaign, it is something like meta-narrative. Narrative, it seems the idea, main idea, which was spread over the information operation. So the first meta-narrative detected as the result of the research was that Ukraine is a non-state. It seems that there's no such country like Ukraine, and Ukraine is not a sovereign country. What kind of smaller narratives were used to spread this meta-narrative? That Ukrainians and Russians are one people. Historically, Ukraine has a periphery of the former Russia Empire. Ukraine has no history of language of its own. Ukraine emerged as the result of the action of the Bolsheviks, Russia, and Lenin. Ukraine is stealing Cossacks' traditions from Russia, and Ukraine's economic decline is inevitable. So all of these small narratives were aimed to the decision that Ukraine is a non-state, that Ukraine has no right to exist as the separate country. And when we detect all of the information operation, all the technologies which are used to spread disinformation, it seems that we make our information environment more safety to users, and that in future our information technology and information environment will develop and be safe to all of our citizens. And also you can see on my slide the next meta-narratives from the resource of NGO Go Ukraine 250. And all of these meta-narratives has a smaller parts, but I think that if someone investigate all of these things in information environment, then it seems that we use our critical thinking, and it will help us to feel safe when we read news and some new information. So I tried to be very brief, but I'm not sure that I tell you all I wanted to tell. And now I'm ready to answer your question. And if you have some of them, I'm ready to ask. Don't hesitate and ask the questions. Also, if you are not ready to answer me about something, I can left you my contacts and you can write me on the email, and I will be glad to answer all your questions if they will appear in future.
And dear participants, you can write your questions in the chat box in the Zoom.
Yeah, also you can write. And I'm sure that after all the webinars and all the activities of this contest, you will have some fresh ideas and some interesting projects, and you will try your best to create some new technologies and make our country and all our world and our information environment more safe, and to develop it in a best way. I see that now we don't have any questions, but I hope they will appear later.
Okay, thank you, Katerina, for the webinar and interesting information for our participants. I hope they learned a lot and will definitely apply it in their projects. Thank you, and see you, dear participants, in the next our webinar in 1 week.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.